Alright, y'all. I'm just out here with Pops. He's getting ready to put a gate up for me. And we're going to make a small enclosure right here for the chickens so that they'll have a place to go in and eat, and so the cattle can't get to it.
This farm was covered up with that style of gate when I was growing up, and about all of them had a big white snowball bush on both sides that we had to keep trimmed.
We may have some elderberry bushes.
We got snowballs down there for propagating.
We do. I'll propagate us some. But he built this gate for me a long time ago. When they hung this one the other day, they forgot to put a brace right there, so it's pulled a little bit. And that's the reason I've got all this chicken wire in the gap and all the way down at the bottom so that chickens and kitty cats cannot go in there. Remember, we had that kerfuffle with Fatso a while back. So I've attached chicken wire to the outside of this fence all the way down and mostly around. I've got to finish down at that end. I've been busy inside this week, so I haven't gotten it done. And Pops built this other gate this morning, and metal pile, and he's getting ready to hang it for me. Right now he's hanging it from the tractor. I guess that thing is heavy. He's gonna have a hard time picking it up that high. There he goes. The chickens, I want them to have a safe place to come in and eat. The cattle, Hugh put them back on this side the other day, and they stomped in their food buckets, the chickens' food buckets, and didn't break any of them, thank goodness. But we don't want them to have the opportunity to do that.
Mark for me, please.
I'm coming. Aaron is in Georgia this week, or he would be out here helping Hubie. Not this week, just for today. He had some dental work to have done. How far down can you put it?
I don't want to go too far down, because I got to stay above them concrete blocks because I can't fasten it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of limited on, I can come down a little. That's about as far as I can go.
Is it? All right. I'll put some chicken wire at the bottom to keep them from being
free
moved.
range, they're not going to be cooped up in there. It don't matter if they get out or not.
Well, I just want them to be safe when they come in here to eat at night. What am I marking? Just the holes?
No, that right there where I got to cut out.
We're going to cut it out. Okay. Can you see that mark? I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you need me for a minute?
No, you can go where you walk.
All right. He's got to notch that. Can you not see it? Okay, he found it. All right. But let's walk. Let me show you what's going on. You all have seen the chickens. I have a chicken in there right now if she's not finished. Yeah, there's a black chicken. Look at all the eggs, y'all. Aren't they beautiful? All right, Mama. I'll leave you alone. Bless. Sweet little chickens. We had some cattle get out the other night, and that's when it's bad. It's when it's dark. And they were across the road in Chelsea's field, so we had to coax them back home. Thankfully, Hugh has trained them, even these young cattle that are over here right now. He's trained them that if he calls for them, they're going to get a sweet treat, so they will come. All right, what's going on right here? Aaron is in the process of building the compost bins, and there's going to be 3 of them. Each of them are about 8 foot square, I think. And what we'll do is we'll start in the first, and we have so much cow manure and hay and things like that that makes, you know, great compost all by itself. But I'll also have the garden vegetation. You know, anytime I cut, and I'll just cut them at the base of the plant instead of pulling them up by the roots. There's a whole science involved in that, and it's so interesting to know. If you want to find out a little bit more about it, read or watch on YouTube a guy named Jeff. He has a YouTube channel called No Dig Growers, and I think there's more than just him that's part of that group, but I watch his all the time because he's fascinating. And the science involved in just creating soil instead of dirt, that's what we're after. We're after changing the composition of our soil on this little farm. It's well, we've talked about that before, so I won't even go into it. I want to show you all of these goose eggs. They're hysterical. I don't know that they're going to lay on them long enough to actually hatch any of them, but we haven't messed with them. I hear my little ducks over there by the water tank, and there's just one little female. I have 3 more ducks ordered, and we're going to hope the lady that's helping me with this at our co-op, she said she's hoping that she will be able to sex them for me so that she will be able to pick out 3 little females. Over there's my geese. I don't know what they're doing. And over there's my little ducks. They're just coming under the fence, and there's 2 little males, 3 little males, 4 little males, and the little female back there beside the watering tank by herself. But she shouldn't be by herself in this crowd of boys. So hopefully we're going to get her some sisters. Mallards are such a beautiful bird. They are so beautiful. If you look at them from the front, their little heads are just bright, intense green. If you look at them from the side, it's kind of a teal color. And then from the back, it's kind of a purple. But they're so very pretty. And I guess the geese are coming home for a minute. I don't know what they're doing. Watch them. I love those crazy birds. Here they come. Hey, babies. Hey, my darlings. But we're working on several options for, we had talked about moving this pond on down the creek. I think we've decided against that. We almost have the problem with the hole taken care of, so it is now going across the spillway. But Aaron's going to come in here and just slant all these banks, and he's going to put, he's talking about some kind of a material, I'm not sure what it is, that he can pin to the ground that will keep it from, keep the geese and the ducks from doing this to it, which is just making it pretty much a sharp drop off, and then they have a hard time getting out of it. That's not a detriment to the geese and the ducks, but it is to the chickens. And the chickens wander in here sometimes, and Hugh said chickens are just goofy enough to actually get in the water, that when he was growing up they actually had some drown. So we want to be sure and make it safe for our little chicken girls as well. Alright, now there's no mama in there, but look at this, y'all. And you know what? You're not seeing all of them. You are not seeing all of them because that big pile right there is where they've covered them over. Is that not crazy? Now, I don't know where the little duck is laying. I'm not sure. But I'm sure she has a little nest somewhere. But she hasn't been missing in action long enough to be laying on it. They are very noisy. They are very noisy. I've got one of the geese, she's over here. I don't know what she's doing over here, all by herself. I do have one that does not see well, and I have had to make sure that I got her back with her group, because if they get away from her and she doesn't see which way they go, and then if they're quiet, say if they stop for a little nap somewhere, which they do pretty regularly, then she can't find them. And so I usually guide her back to where they're at. I don't want her to be by herself, but I think that she's a little goose that when we first got our geese, when they were tiny little goslings, had some kind of an eye infection. What are you doing over here, sister? Say, what you doing over here? Let's see if I get up here above her. Yeah, there's somebody's drink can. I need to carry my Jimmy stick with me all the time. And they set them down on fence posts and the wind blows them away, and that drives me nuts, but oh well. Do you hear that? There you go. She says, I'll just go in here where I feel safe. Good girl. It looks like the rest are coming over, maybe. I don't know where George is at. Do you hear that hawk? I hear him, I don't see him. He has his nights and days mixed up. He's either very, very early or very, very late. Oh. This contraption right here, Hugh built about 10 years ago or so. It's a wood splitter, but it is, well, that's a wood splitter also, just for kind of firewood type thing. But this great big long thing is a wood splitter for rails. And yeah, I think have a genius for a husband. He's a pretty smart dude. There comes the rest of the crew. Hey, babies. Hi, darlings. Now she's with them. Now I won't worry about her. Crazy, crazy birds. Let's go look at the other goose nest. And I'll see if I can see Ferdinand and Isabella. They're quite brilliant and beautiful, but they're hard to find sometimes. Ah, Hugh has the fence up. I think I have this camera pointed to the ground, y'all. I'm sorry, there. So y'all have been just watching the mud for the past 15 minutes. I apologize. All right, what I'm doing here, we're just gonna give the chickens just a small little area. It'll just come down to that corner fence post right there, and then over and up to the door. And we're gonna make a little cover, kind of like a little porch right here. Right here, and just be a little porch roof so that we can put their food, hang their food containers under that, and that way we won't have to worry about running outside and picking them up and putting them on the porch or over there under the sawmill shed when it rains. It'll just always be right here, and it'll be safe from the weather. But it'll be a small little area, but all it needs is to be big enough for them to walk inside in the evening, and we'll feed them and close the little gate out here. And then when it gets dark, they'll have a little, I told you I don't want to have to go in and out this big door all the time, and especially when it's cold, I'd rather just keep it closed so there's not that much cold air coming in when they're laying. So we're just going to build a teeny tiny little door somewhere along through here, just that we can open to let them in and out. And so it will be just held open during the day, and they can go in and out as they choose. And at night, when everybody's inside, we'll just close it and lock it, and they'll be all snuggly and safe inside. All right, there's some chickens. That one right there, she is a beauty. There's two of them. I don't know if she'll let me get close enough for you to see her feather patterns, but she's got a lot of green in there, believe it or not. You gonna come across the one? Watch her come across the fence. I don't know why she just didn't go around it. No, she's not going to. But I don't think you can see her coloration unless she's actually in the sun. But she's not going. I know. Oops, there went my hat. There went my hat. Let me grab it and stick it back on my head. It's a little windy today. Look, her feathers are being fluffled. Now, can you see the green kind of shining when she comes out here in the sun? They're really, really pretty chicken. The wind's messing up your dew, sister. Yes, it is. There's one. She's going to go in and lay her daily egg. Almost daily. They don't lay every day, but they lay pretty close to every day. But as time moves forward and we get all this scrap metal up and all this wood up and all this just kerfuffle stuff up so that you can actually see the ground. It's kind of like in your house. You know, if you've got socks laying around in the floor, the house looks a mess. Well, even though I know what most of this stuff is for, and that it has a specific purpose, it's just disheartening because it looks so messy. But not for much longer. I think that as these little projects get finished and we just get everything raked up and cleaned up, move to the burn pile. I'll go over here and check the chicken water while I'm thinking about it. This thing gets emptied fairly quickly with all these birds. Oh yeah, nice and heavy. Make sure they've got plenty of water. All right. I want to take you to the front where there's also a mess, but I'm in the process of getting that cleaned up. There's that hawk. Did you see it go down? I think I held the camera up there just after he had already kind of swooped down behind that pine tree. All right. But I was wanting to clean out these flower beds and get rid of all this wood up here, but honestly I'm afraid to mess with it until these geese do whatever they're going to do. I just don't want to disturb them. They better get it done quickly, because within the month I'm going to come out here and clean these out so I can put some plastic down and get ahead of the weeds this year. Look at that. Now there's a hole there that's probably about 8 or 10 inches around, probably about 6 inches deep. They had dug the hole and then they started laying. They filled that hole completely up and continued laying, and sometimes they pull some mulch over top of the eggs, but you can see that I think they've ran out of mulch and they're still laying. I'm saying there's probably between 25 and 30 eggs in that spot. That's crazy. I don't think any of them are going to hatch though, because I've not seen a mama willing to spend that much time out here laying on them. And that's a good thing, because you know what, y'all? I don't want to raise any more geese, and I don't want any extra ones around. I love my geese, but I don't want tons more. All right. Hush, guys. It's me. All right. This porch is nice and warm. It's going to be my greenhouse. Right now it's also the woodshed. But I've got all my lights up there on the top shelf, and I'm getting ready to come out here and hang them. Probably just on 2 shelves for now, and on this shelf and this shelf. I got some doggy treats. Aaron keeps some out here so he can have them for copper. And on this shelf and this shelf. And I will go on down if I need to, but for right now, I think with just the early spring plants, that these 2 shelves, well, it'd be 4 shelves really, will be plenty for what I'll be bringing out here. As soon as the little plants that I have started, and they're on the dining room table, as soon as I start seeing green pop up in those little things, when 50% of them have turned green, or well, 50% of them germinated, I can bring them out here and put them on the shelf. Now I will put a heater out here on the porch, just simply because the air needs to be fairly warm, even for early plants, except for apparently the peas. So everything else still needs some warmth. And let me see, let's just sit down for a minute. I hope that everybody's having a really, really, really wonderful start to your week. I think I've said that. I don't know if I did or not. I'm a little kerfuffled today. And nothing to be concerned about. There goes that hawk. Good gravy. I wish I could catch him in flight. But it's just a busy time of year, and it's exhausting. And my mind, I'm having more problems trying to stay on track with what to plant and when to plant it and all that sort of thing. And I have about 3 different sources that I'm trying to follow, as far as, you know, this needs to be sown inside and that needs to be sown outside, and this is the time of year for this and this is the time of year for that. I'm making my own notebook, and I'm going to actually follow 2 of the 3 sources and keep good records, which I'm not good at keeping records, but this year I'm keeping records, and I'm going to notate which of those 2 times actually are the best. And one of the reasons I'm choosing to do this is, for one thing, I just need concrete information. I do so well if somebody just tells me this is what you need to do and this is when you need to do it. Don't make me have to think. So that way, if I have it down on paper, and I can say, okay, last year when I started these inside on March 1st and I had them in the garden on March 30th, they did so. But the ones that I started on March 15th and I put in the garden on April 15th, let's say, did really well. Then, and I know that won't hold true every year because the temperature, you know, sometimes it warms up slower than other times. And but there's our seasons here are changing so significantly that years ago, when I started gardening here in Western North Carolina, we were 6A, and now we're 6B. I'm thinking I think we're more like 7A. And I mean, if you look at even today, this day we're 70 degrees here, and today is the last day of February, and the problem is nothing is consistent. So I'm just going to attempt making this notebook for myself and hoping that I can find a good consistency with it if the weather isn't just all over the place like it has been for the last few years. But I don't know. There's so little that's dependable when it comes to the weather that you almost feel like you have to make it up as you go. But anyway, I needed to go up to the graveyard and walk today. But I have so many things here that needs to get done that I decided I'd just have a little chat with you and just show you all the mess here and what's going on, and the goose eggs. And I never did see Ferdinand and Isabella. Hopefully I can show them to you at some point pretty soon. Ferdinand has all of his tail feathers, are just beautiful, and he opens them up and he flirts with the chickens. I don't know. I don't understand that, but you know, whatever. I'm not asking any questions. But he also flirts with his girl, so that's nice. All right, let's walk back here one more time and see what Papa's doing, see how my gate worked out. And then I need to get inside and get some plants started, or some more seeds started in these trays. And I certainly will keep you apprised as to how they're going. And Pop, say bye before you get on that thing and make it noisy.
Do what?
I said say bye before you get on it and make it noisy.
I'm just going right over there.
How'd the gate hang?
Huh?
How'd the gate hang?
It's fine.
All right, let's go check out his work. Yay. Nice gate. Yay. I'll have to hang a little bit of... Oh, that's a squeaky one. Cool. All right. Just look at that. All right. Lovely. I'll hang some chicken wire at the bottom so I can keep them inside.
Them screws I put in there is pretty good, but we probably need to get a little longer one.
Okay. Hot dog.
I'm gonna tie it to where the wind can't blow it.
All right.
And then we'll get you a lights like that one and we'll drill it.
Mm-hmm.
And just let it go down in the wood like the rest of these gates around the farm.
Yeah. Okie doke. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go inside and get busy. And I will be talking to you soon.
Now all that's left to do is for
I'm
Patti
still
to paint
talking.
them. If she wants them
Patty's not
painted.
going to paint them. I like the natural wood. I like it when the wood turns gray, like that one right there. I think
Yeah,
that's just
they'll
fine.
be different colors because that right there is locust.
Yeah.
And that's oak, so
Yeah.
that'll be gray, that'll be black.
Yeah. There's
In a year or two.
there's plenty to do on the farm without taking up the hobby of painting doors. I just won't do that. All right, guys. Love y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
Now I gotta put tools away. I'm still gonna build a little chicken door.
Bye, y'all.